Hello everyone, I'm Lance Dixon, I'm the director of the new Tropic, and we're here for our final day of chatting through the Better Bus project with the folks from Transit Alliance Miami. Just another reminder, if you want to follow projects like this and just other things going on in Miami, just head to thenewtropic.com and you can subscribe to our daily newsletter Monday through Friday. And the Better Bus project, you can find out more info on it at betterbus.miami, and I'll let Az take it away.
And I'd like to thank Lance and the New Tropic for having us for 5 days, and all of you guys who've been tuning in. Today is going to be a little shorter and simpler. We're going to talk about what's next, but before, you've seen me many times by now, I'd like to introduce Marta Viciedo. Marta is the founder and chair of Transit Alliance, and a huge part of why Transit Alliance exists and why Transit Alliance is able to do the things that it's doing. Do you want to tell a bit of the story of Transit Alliance in a nutshell for people who don't know, like, how did Transit Alliance how did Transit Alliance start?
Sure. There are lots of people, and I think that this is the story of Transit Alliance, but more importantly, it's the reason why any of these initiatives that we take on have been successful. Transit Alliance never started in a vacuum. It started with lots of people that have gotten engaged. I can trace Transit Alliance's beginnings to
the founding of the city of Miami.
To the founding of the city of Miami,
No.
and to a very cool project that we did a few years back, and lots of people were engaged, and that was called Purple Line, where we put up a pop-up train station in the middle of the design district for 2 days. And again, the power of that was that so many people were involved and made that possible, and it set us on a trajectory to really begin addressing transit as this fundamental issue that needs to be solved in Miami-Dade County.
Mm-hmm.
And so lots of people have just gravitated towards this issue and towards this organization and have supported us moving forward. And I don't even want to start naming names because there's so many.
Because they'll be on the live stream being like, what about me? Because there's literally
there's
so
that many people. But this is how you start a movement. For somebody like me that is impossibly impatient, yes, it takes longer. I want everything fixed as of yesterday. But this is how you start a movement, and you make the changes that are necessary for a community, because there's a lot of people that look down the horizon and they understand where Miami and Miami-Dade County need to be, and they're willing to put the work into it to make it happen.
Did you ever think that Transit Alliance would be 1.5 years or 2 years after it launched with our first campaign, redesigning the bus system in partnership with the county, but essentially that?
So I never think anything is impossible, which gets me into a lot of trouble. But would I have imagined this? No. I thought we probably would have been doing definitely other things. But this is an amazing opportunity, and really it's an amazing opportunity. We wouldn't have gotten here without this guy right here. As he falls.
I'm sorry, I fell.
This has been made possible in very large part this amazing team and you.
And
the work that you
and Maya, who's like, you saw Maya on Tuesday or Wednesday.
And again, a lot of other people that have supported.
We're going to talk a bit about what's next. What's next for the Better Bus project, and I think the best way to illustrate that is to give everyone a preview of what will happen to Miami system. And I'm going to get closer to the camera so I can show you an example from San Jose. So give me a moment while I frame this. So what you see here, and I'm sorry Marta, I'm covering your face, but only for this segment. What you're seeing here is San Jose's existing transit network before they redesigned. And the only thing I want you to pay attention to right now is how much red you see. So everything that you see that's in red, it represents a bus arriving every 15 minutes. And San Jose had some of that, but not a lot. And so when they released their concepts, which is pretty much where we are in Miami, we're ahead of releasing network concepts. One of their concepts looked like that. And that's a concept where 80% of the resources are focused on increasing ridership, which means 80% of the resources go into all of those red lines. I'm just going to skip back and forth so you can see, whoops, oh, you don't need that. So you can see the difference between these two concepts, which can be really dramatic. But the important thing to realize is, imagine if there was some hypothetical person standing in the middle of San Jose This represents how far they can get in 15, 30, and 45 minutes. The whole point of a network redesign that increases frequent service, if we choose to go that way, is that with a system like this, that blob becomes very, very big. Which means that from that point, using transit, people can access a lot more opportunities, people can access a lot more jobs, and as you can tell, the more frequent you make that network, the farther that people can get, and the farther that people can access those opportunities. So, as you can sort of tell from that dramatic difference, there's a huge decision to be made about how far to go in that direction. And that sort of brings us to the component of like what's next and how to decide that once we release those concepts. And I'd like us just to walk through some of the ways that you could get involved with the project now and into the future. And before that, Marta, if you could talk a bit about you've built your career in a way on doing things like this with Miami in various capacities. And that's something unique that you bring to Transit Alliance. And if you could just talk about if you have any thoughts about your overall experiences in life in Miami and career and things like that, that's fine. But also if you have any thoughts about the engagement portion of this project, or really whatever you'd like to touch upon.
Cool. Anything. I can talk about anything. That's a lot of
Except
power.
the one, we covered
Okay.
the one.
I was unfortunately going to grab that immediately. You know me too well. So look, I think I don't want to oversimplify. We take. I think that the approach that we've taken, even with just this series of live streams this week, right? I think a lot of times people think that community engagement is getting people to give you an opinion about a thing. And it begins there and it ends there. Check a box, tell me what you like or dislike. And I think that what's powerful about this process is that there's a constant dialogue happening and anybody can choose to engage in it. We're experiencing something completely new to Miami-Dade County, and honestly, there's a number of cities that have done this, but there's a number of cities that would absolutely need to do this. So that this thing that we're doing with redesigning a bus network, re-envisioning our transit system, it's happening across the country, and it will continue to happen, and it will always happen. But what's powerful about it is how we educate, how we inform, how we figure out what it is that's going to work best for all of us moving forward. Community engagement it's a long process. It's a necessary process, but it's really the only way that we build a city together that reflects who we are, that meets the needs of our community, that meets the needs of the people that are here. If we don't all get involved, get outside of our comfort zone, start having difficult conversations or keep having difficult conversations, and figure out how we arrive at the best possible solution to the thing that, whatever it is, the issue that we're trying to face, that's really the only way forward. If we don't do that, there's no
Because something I want to emphasize, especially in this context, is you saw the maps that I showed you a few minutes ago. This plan is going to be very controversial. It's going to be very controversial because it's very transformative compared to the way that we think about the way that we do transit now, and when we think about the relevancy of transit in Miami. I think when you change anything, it's true that when you change anything, there will be controversy. But in the re-envisioning of a bus system anywhere, not just Miami, but in every city that has done it, they tend to be very controversial. And they are controversial because they are transformative. So I want to emphasize that controversy in this context is not bad. Controversy will be a reaction to how transformative the potentials of doing a bus system redesign could be.
Right.
And we are not ignoring that, discounting that, or not aware of that. So I'd like to walk through some of the ways that you could engage with us right now and what's going to happen in the next few months. Because I think Lance has enjoyed coming to our office these 5 days, but I don't think he's going to come back every day. Or we'll all go to Lance's house, and the live stream will be from Lance's house. So if you go to our website right now, and I know you can't see this, but you'll see this on our website. I'll just walk you through it. If you go to betterbus.miami, there's already a few things you can do. You can email us at team@betterbus.miami. You can follow us on Twitter where we post regular updates. You can take our survey, which is still open, and this is the best way to really get involved with the decisions that are being made right now. betterbus.miami/survey. Please take the survey. It will only take you 90 seconds. You can schedule a phone call with us right on our website. All you have to click is schedule a call, and you can talk with someone from the team, which will probably be Maya, who you saw earlier in the week. And we already held a priorities workshop with elected officials. We're going to start going out into the community and doing presentations about this project. So if you work with an organization or if you have a community organization and you want us to come to you to talk about the project, please email us at team@betterbus.miami. We will come to you, we will present, we will have that discussion similar to what we've been having these past 5 weeks on what this is trying to do. Come September, when these 2 network concepts are released, because the main thing I want to emphasize is the thing that's next is releasing these 2 contrasting conceptual plans. I know that's a lot of words, but think about it this way. We have an existing network, and we're going to release 2 markedly different ways of thinking about how we can do transit in Miami. And when we release those in September, that's when you'll have the bulk of the opportunity to come to a workshop, meet us at a transit station, submit all your feedback online. So if you can't do those things, there will be ways to do those things. Maybe we'll have a virtual workshop if there's enough demand for it. So if that's something you want to happen, please let us know. But when we release those 2 concepts is the most critical stage of this process, where we really, really, really need your input, and your elected officials need your input too. Is there anything else you want to say about that process?
No, well, actually, yes, because the way that we've designed it isn't just necessarily for you to come. The way that we've designed it is that we will also be available in transit hubs across the county. We're doing pop-up portable workshops, so we're not positioning this as, well, you have to come, sit down in a workshop, watch a presentation, and give your opinion. We've strived to make it as accessible to existing riders and to people that want to engage as possible.
And if there's something you don't like about workshops, we are open to your feedback, because we're right now designing how these things could work. And that brings me to Lance. Do we have any comments, questions, feedback? Those little things that pop up on the screen, that hearts and thumbs up that I can't see, but maybe I should be told.
Well, there's a couple likes. No, they're mostly just folks saying things, saying that this is amazing, and they want you all to keep up the good work. So
cool.
It's coming in so far.
Thanks for tuning in. This series will be up on our website soon, and this is not the end, hopefully the last time you'll see us. Anytime you would like to do a live stream, anytime you would like us to do a live stream, literally, if enough people say that these were valuable and that we should do these more often, we'll do them more often. So there's that.
And everybody can also vote to get as on the bus for 24 hours again.
I don't know if that's on the table. I actually thought this was a great fundraising tool. Hold on, I'm going to because Lance, we might have a question.
Yeah, we do. We have a question. What is the most important metric when analyzing the impact of this project?
Great question. So the most important metric when thinking about a new transit network, I'm going to use the easy word, and then I'm going to use some of the harder words. The easy word is usefulness, and I'm going to define that. But people will take transit that's useful, which means if transit is useful, you'll get more ridership. Now, how exactly do you measure that? And it's really that diagram that I showed you before, in terms of how far can people get on transit in a reasonable amount of time. And to give you an example, it's literally that blob. That blob represents how far people can get. So when we do a redesign, some of the metrics we'll put out there is with the 2 options, the 2 concepts that we're going to release. How many jobs can you access in 30, 45, and 60 minutes from various locations around the county? And on average in the county, between these 2 network concepts, how many jobs can you access? Now, jobs don't represent everything, but jobs is a good, one, you have the best data on jobs, but also jobs are an indicator to many of the other things that people will want to go to. For example, even when it comes to something like tourism, people want to go to places where high concentration of tourism activity exists, because people are working there to serve the tourists. So jobs are a great proxy to understand how useful a transit network is. And essentially, when you think about it, the fundamentals of a good transit network is it can get people to a lot of places, and usually people to a lot of places to earn a living. Do you have anything to add?
And also just how quickly you can get there.
How quickly
right?
you can get there.
It's not spending 3 or 4 hours of your day in total commuting from one place to another, be it a place of recreation or a place of work.
Yeah.
So how quickly can you get 15 minutes, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, that's a really important metric.
But let's reemphasize that within these two concepts, between these two goals of getting a lot of people on the bus and sending a bus to every single person in the county, I'm exaggerating, but just to give you the most extreme versions of that, you can't do both. So the more you go towards the direction of we want to increase bus ridership by concentrating and creating this high frequency network, a lot of people will be getting a lot more places a lot faster. At the sacrifice of, you have places in the county where you don't have a lot of bus riders. They might get less or reduced service. And that's the trade-off, because you can't do both. If we had a world with unlimited resources, there would be a bus down every street. And you wouldn't have this question. But in reality, this is the key question that any transit agency needs to decide. Do we have anything else, Lance?
No.
All right. Cool. Thank you very much again. Thank you, Marta.
No, thank you.
For joining for this last day.
And thank you again to the new Tropic.
Yeah. So thanks again. We'll see you some other time, some other place. Maybe there'll be a wand again. So